The new face of monarchy, William and Kate's modern royal image. The story began at a small Scottish university in 2001. William, a young prince with the weight of future kingship on his shoulders, arrived at St. Andrews University hoping for a normal college experience. Tall with sandy blonde hair and a shy smile, he wanted what most students wanted: to make friends, study hard, and enjoy his youth before royal duties took over his life. In the same year, a girl named Kate Middleton also started at St. Andrews. She came from a middle-class family that ran a party supply business. Kate had no royal blood, just a warm smile and a friendly way about her. She was smart, athletic, and had no idea her life was about to change forever. William and Kate first met in the dormitories where many first-year students lived. They started as casual friends who would say hello in hallways and sit near each other in classes. Kate was studying art history, and William began in the same program before later switching to geography. They often shared notes and walked to lectures together. Their friendship grew stronger when they moved into a shared house with other students in their second year. Living under the same roof, they got to know each other better. They cooked simple meals together and stayed up late talking about their dreams and worries. Kate saw past William's royal title and got to know the real person behind the prince. The moment that changed everything happened at a charity fashion show. Kate walked the runway wearing a see-through dress over a black underwear set. William was sitting in the audience with friends. When Kate appeared, William reportedly whispered to his friend, "Wow, Kate's hot." That night, he began to see her as more than just a friend. Soon after, William and Kate started dating. They tried to keep their relationship secret, but it was hard with photographers always following the prince. They found quiet places to go on dates, small restaurants in hidden corners of town, movie nights at home, and walks along the Scottish beaches when nobody was around. After graduating from university, William joined the Royal Air Force to train as a helicopter pilot. Kate took a job as an accessories buyer for a clothing chain. Even with busy schedules, they made time to see each other. On weekends, William would fly his helicopter to visit Kate, landing in fields near her family home when he could get permission. Their relationship wasn't always smooth. In 2007, they broke up for a few months. William wasn't sure if he was ready for a serious commitment. Kate was hurt but showed great strength. She didn't cry to reporters or tell secrets about the prince. Instead, she went out with friends, traveled, and lived her life. Her dignity during this time impressed many people, including William. A few months later, William realized he had made a mistake. He missed Kate's calm presence, her easy laugh, and the way she understood him like no one else. They got back together, and this time William was more certain about their future. In the years that followed, Kate showed she could handle the pressure of dating a prince. She remained poised when photographers shouted at her. She was polite to everyone she met. She learned about royal rules and traditions. All the while, she kept her own identity and close ties to her family. William valued how Kate gave him a glimpse of normal life. With her family, he played board games, helped in the kitchen, and enjoyed simple pleasures that palace life didn't offer. For a young man who lost his mother at age 15, the warmth of Kate's family felt like a gift. By the end of the 2000s, people began calling Kate Waity Katie because she had been waiting so long for a proposal. But behind the scenes, William and Kate were building something important, a solid foundation for a marriage that would one day represent the future of the British monarchy. After years of dating, William knew it was time. He carefully packed his mother Diana's famous sapphire ring in his backpack. The ring was special to him. By giving it to Kate, he would bring his mother into this happy moment. In October 2010, William and Kate traveled to Kenya with friends. They stayed in a rustic cabin near Mount Kenya. One morning, William suggested a walk by a beautiful lake. The air was fresh, and birds sang around them. Far from cameras and royal watchers, William got down on one knee. Kate was surprised when William pulled out the sapphire ring. With the African wilderness around them, he asked her to marry him. Kate said yes right away. For a few precious days, they kept their happy secret to themselves before telling the world. When they announced their engagement back in London, Kate wore a blue dress that matched her ring. At their first interview as an engaged couple, they seemed both happy and a little nervous. William said he carried the ring in his backpack for 3 weeks before finding the perfect moment. Kate called him a true romantic. The world was excited about a royal wedding. People remembered William as a small boy walking behind his mother's coffin. Now he was grown up and starting his own family. Many felt protective of him and happy that he had found love. Kate became the first regular person in modern times who might one day be queen. She was not from a noble family or royal blood. This made many regular people feel connected to her. If Kate could marry a prince, the fairy tale seemed more possible for everyone. Planning a royal wedding was a huge task. The date was set for April 29, 2011. Westminster Abbey was chosen for the ceremony. This famous church had seen royal weddings before, including Princess Diana's wedding to Prince Charles. But William and Kate wanted their date to feel personal too. Kate worked closely with designers to create her wedding dress. She chose Sarah Burton from the fashion house Alexander McQueen. The dress was kept secret until the wedding day. Even William did not know what it looked like before Kate walked down the aisle. On the wedding morning, London streets filled with people waving flags. Some had camped out for days to get good spots. People threw parties across Britain. The wedding day was made a national holiday so everyone could celebrate. Kate rode to Westminster Abbey with her father in a royal car. When she stepped out, everyone finally saw her dress. It had long lace sleeves and a beautiful train. She wore a tiara borrowed from the Queen. William waited at the altar in his red military uniform. During the ceremony, William and Kate looked at each other with real love. They smiled and whispered small jokes to help each other stay calm. The abbey was filled with flowers and important people, but they seemed focused only on each other. After saying their vows, the new Duke and Duchess of Cambridge rode through London in an open carriage. 1 million people lined the streets to cheer. When they reached Buckingham Palace, they appeared on the famous balcony. There they shared a kiss while crowds below cheered louder. Later that day, William drove Kate away from Buckingham Palace in his father's vintage Aston Martin car. The car was decorated with balloons and a "Just Wed" sign. This small personal touch showed they wanted to add their own style to royal traditions. That night, they danced at a private party with family and close friends. Kate changed into a simpler white dress. William removed his heavy military jacket. For a few hours, they were just a happy young couple celebrating their love, not the future King and Queen of England. The wedding marked a new chapter for the monarchy. William and Kate showed they would respect traditions while bringing fresh energy to the royal family. Their wedding day set the tone for how they would shape their royal roles in the years to come. After their wedding, William and Kate moved to a small cottage in Wales. William worked as a search and rescue helicopter pilot there. The cottage was simple with few rooms. They had no live-in staff. Kate did the cooking and shopping herself. Sometimes people saw her at the local grocery store, pushing a cart like any other shopper. The couple's early married life was quieter than most royal newlyweds. Instead of many royal tours, they spent time setting up their home. Kate planted vegetables in their garden. William came home from long rescue shifts to home-cooked meals. They walked their dog on the beach and watched movies on quiet nights. Kate started her royal duties slowly. She carefully chose a few charities to support. She focused on children's mental health, addiction, and the arts. At her first public speech, her hands shook a little. She was nervous but determined. Over time, she became more confident speaking to crowds. The press watched everything Kate did. They talked about her clothes, her hair, and how thin she was. Some called her boring because she rarely said anything controversial. Others praised her for being calm and proper. Kate stayed silent through all the talk. She never complained or fought back against critics. In December 2012, the palace made a surprise announcement. Kate was pregnant with their first child. She had been admitted to the hospital with severe morning sickness. The news came earlier than planned because they couldn't keep her hospital stay secret. Kate's pregnancy was difficult. Her morning sickness was so bad she needed medical care. For weeks, she couldn't do public events. She rested at home while William worried about her health. The palace shared little information, trying to give them privacy during this challenging time. As her health improved, Kate returned to some royal duties. People watched her growing belly with excitement. Stores sold out of dresses she wore. Women copied her maternity style. The whole world waited for the birth of a future king or queen. In July 2013, reporters camped outside St. Mary's Hospital in London, the same hospital where William and Harry had been born years before. Inside, Kate labored for hours to bring their first child into the world. William stayed by her side the entire time. On July 22, Kate gave birth to a baby boy. Prince George Alexander Louis was third in line to the throne after his grandfather and father. The palace announced his birth by placing a notice on an easel at Buckingham Palace. This followed an old royal tradition. But William and Kate also announced it on social media, showing their modern approach. The next day, William and Kate appeared outside the hospital with baby George. Kate wore a blue dress with white dots. She looked tired but happy. William held the car seat with their son inside. Then William did something no royal father had done before. He clicked the car seat into their car himself and drove his family home. This small act showed how William and Kate would parent. They wanted to do normal parent things when possible. Yes, their baby would one day be king. But first, he would be their little boy who needed their love and care. Back at Kensington Palace, William and Kate adjusted to being new parents. They hired a nanny to help, but Kate still did much of the baby care herself. William changed diapers and got up for night feedings. When he returned to work in Wales, Kate and George stayed with her parents for extra support. The first official photos of Prince George were not taken by a royal photographer. Kate's father took them in the garden of their family home. They were simple snapshots like any proud grandfather would take. The palace released these family photos instead of formal portraits. This choice showed William and Kate's desire to give their son glimpses of normal life, despite his royal destiny. Their approach to parenthood brought fresh air to the stuffy royal traditions. They showed that being royal and being hands-on parents could go together. As they settled into family life, they were already changing what it meant to be modern royals. In 2014, William and Kate took baby George on their first royal tour as a family. They visited Australia and New Zealand for 3 weeks. People lined streets to see the young family. George stole the show at his first public playdate with local babies. Kate chatted with other mothers about sleep schedules and teething, connecting as a parent first and a royal second. The trip showed how William and Kate balanced royal duties with parenting. They'd brought George's nanny along to help care for him. They planned the schedule so one parent could always be with George during his normal bedtime routine. When possible, they stayed in one place for several nights so he could have a stable base. Back in England, Kate became pregnant with their second child. Once again, she suffered from severe morning sickness. She had to cancel events and rest at home. The palace was more open about her health challenges this time. This honesty about a difficult pregnancy helped other women who faced similar problems feel less alone. On May 2, 2015, Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana was born. Her middle names honored both Queen Elizabeth and William's late mother, Princess Diana. The world got its first glimpse of the princess when William and Kate left the hospital with her just hours after her birth. Later that year, Kate took the first official photos of Charlotte with her big brother George. William and Kate were determined to give their children as much privacy as possible. They made agreements with the British press to limit photographs of the children. In return, they shared family photos at birthdays and special occasions. They wanted George and Charlotte to grow up without cameras constantly in their faces. The young family moved to Amer Hall, a country house on the Queen's Sandringham estate. The 10-bedroom home gave them more space and privacy than their London apartment. They decorated it to be child-friendly rather than formal. Visitors described toys in the living room and children's artwork on the walls. At home, William and Kate tried to keep life simple. They had limited household staff. Kate often took George to his nursery school herself. They had family movie nights with popcorn. The children played in the garden and helped Kate grow vegetables. William read bedtime stories and took the children for bike rides around the estate. The couple's commitment to mental health work grew stronger during these years. They teamed up with Prince Harry to launch the Heads Together campaign. The project aimed to end the shame around mental health problems. William spoke about how becoming a father made him think more about emotional well-being. Kate focused on children's mental health, especially in the early years. In a video for the campaign, William and Kate sat on a bench with Harry and talked openly about mental health. They discussed the importance of talking about feelings. William mentioned how he wished his mother could have met Kate and the children. This personal conversation showed a new style of royal communication: direct, honest, and focused on real issues people face. For Princess Charlotte's first birthday, Kate took photos of her daughter playing in their garden. The pictures showed a happy toddler in simple clothes. For Prince George's third birthday, they released photos of him offering ice cream to their family dog. These glimpses into their family life showed children being allowed to be children first, royals second. In their work life, William and Kate developed distinct areas of focus. William became passionate about conservation, homelessness, and men's mental health. Kate built expertise in early childhood development, addiction issues, and how early experiences shape adult lives. They worked separately on many projects, but came together for major mental health initiatives. At formal royal events, they showed a united front. Kate mastered the art of diplomatic dressing, wearing colors or designers that honored host countries. William gave speeches that balanced royal tradition with modern concerns. Together, they represented a new generation taking on more responsibility as the Queen grew older. Despite their royal status, they dealt with the same parenting challenges as other families. George had tantrums. Charlotte went through a picky eating phase. Kate talked about feeling mom guilt when royal duties took her away from the children. By sharing these normal struggles, they made the monarchy seem more human and relatable than ever before. In April 2018, Kate gave birth to their third child, Prince Louis Arthur Charles. Just 7 hours after his birth, she appeared on the hospital steps with the new baby. She wore a red dress with a white collar, similar to what Princess Diana wore when she left the hospital with Harry. This subtle nod to William's mother showed how they honored the past while creating their own story. That same year, Prince Harry married Meghan Markle. The two couples were called the Fab Four when they appeared together. But soon the brothers and their wives would take different paths. Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties in 2020, moving first to Canada and then to California. This change put more responsibility on William and Kate's shoulders. William and Kate never spoke publicly about any problems with Harry and Meghan. They focused on their work and family instead. When asked difficult questions, William would politely change the subject. Kate's calm face revealed nothing. Behind palace walls, they must have felt the strain, but they kept royal dignity in public. As their children grew, William and Kate chose schools that would give them a good education, but also normal experiences. George and Charlotte attended Thomas's Battersea, a private school where they were treated like the other students. School reports showed George loved dance classes. Charlotte was described as chatty and confident. Kate became known for taking most of the official photos of her children. She had studied photography at university and had a good eye for natural moments. The palace would release her photos on birthdays and special occasions. The pictures showed the children playing outside, helping in the garden, or laughing with their parents. They looked like any family's photo album, just with better lighting. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, William and Kate adapted quickly. They'd moved their work online, doing video calls from their country home. They talked with healthcare workers, teachers, and charity volunteers. The backgrounds showed simple rooms with family photos. Sometimes, the children would interrupt calls, making William and Kate laugh like any work-from-home parents. During lockdown, Kate led a photography project called Hold Still. It asked people across Britain to submit photos showing life during the pandemic. The project collected over 31,000 entries. Kate helped select 100 final images that were displayed online and later in a book. The project showed ordinary people's experiences during an extraordinary time. William and Kate homeschooled their children during lockdown, like millions of other parents. Kate cut the children's hair herself. They did school projects at the kitchen table. William admitted in an interview that homeschooling made him realize his math skills were rustier than he thought. These honest comments about pandemic struggles helped people feel the royals understood what everyone was going through. For their 10th wedding anniversary in April 2021, William and Kate released a family video. It showed them playing with their children on a beach and toasting marshmallows over a fire. The video had no words, just happy family moments set to music. It showed how far they had come from their wedding day, and what they valued most, their family bond. As the pandemic restrictions eased, William and Kate returned to in-person events. They visited vaccination centers and thanked healthcare workers. They supported businesses struggling to recover. At each appearance, they listened more than they spoke. They asked questions about people's experiences rather than just shaking hands and moving on. Kate's early childhood work grew into a major project called the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood. She spent nearly 10 years researching how early experiences shape adult lives. The center aimed to change how society thinks about the first 5 years of life. Kate wrote personal messages about why this work mattered to her as a mother and as a royal. William launched the Earthshot Prize, an ambitious project to find solutions to environmental problems. The prize would give large amounts of money to help good ideas grow bigger. At the first award ceremony, William wore a green velvet jacket he had worn before. Kate's gown was one she had worn years earlier. This choice sent a message about reusing clothes instead of always buying new ones. Through all these projects and family milestones, William and Kate stayed true to their approach. They respected royal traditions but weren't afraid to update them. They protected their children's privacy while letting the public feel connected to the future of the monarchy. Step by step, they were redefining what it meant to be royal in modern times. In September 2022, Queen Elizabeth II passed away at the age of 96. Her death marked the end of a historic 70-year reign. Charles became king, and William and Kate received new titles. They became the Prince and Princess of Wales, the same titles once held by Charles and Diana. The days after the Queen's death showed how much William and Kate had grown into their royal roles. William joined his father and brother in solemn processions. Kate comforted her children while helping them understand their great-grandmother's passing. At public appearances, they thanked people who came to leave flowers and share memories of the Queen. In a surprise moment, William invited Harry and Meghan to join him and Kate to view flowers left outside Windsor Castle. The four walked together and spoke to well-wishers. This brief reunion showed William's understanding that some moments call for family to stand together despite past problems. The new titles of Prince and Princess of Wales brought more responsibilities. William and Kate made their first visit to Wales in their new roles just weeks after the Queen's death. They met with local people and learned about Welsh culture and language. Kate promised to serve the Welsh people with humility and great joy. With Charles as king, William became heir to the throne. This change brought a new level of public interest in the family. William and Kate responded by staying consistent in their approach. They increased their royal duties but kept their children's lives as normal as possible. Prince George and Princess Charlotte attended the Queen's funeral, but Prince Louis stayed home as he was too young. In early 2023, Kate launched her biggest project yet. After years of research and planning, she started a campaign called Shaping Us. The project aimed to raise awareness about how the first 5 years of life affect everything that follows. Kate appeared in videos and gave speeches explaining the science behind early childhood development. For this project, Kate did something rare. She wrote a personal letter about why she cared so much about early childhood. She shared that becoming a mother had changed how she saw the world. She wrote about wanting to create lasting change for all children, not just her own. The letter showed her growth from a shy royal bride to a confident advocate with a clear mission. William continued his work on environmental issues through the Earthshot Prize. The annual awards gave money to innovative solutions for climate change and pollution. William traveled to Boston for the second Earthshot ceremony, showing the international reach of the project. At the event, William said he was stubborn about optimism when facing big global problems. At home, William and Kate moved their family to Adelaide Cottage on the Windsor estate. The move brought them closer to the Queen's residence before her passing. It also placed their children in a new school where they could all attend together. The cottage was much smaller than their previous homes, with just 4 bedrooms. This choice showed their preference for a less grand lifestyle when possible. In early 2023, Kate underwent abdominal surgery. The palace announced she would take several months away from public duties to recover. William reduced his schedule to support her and care for their children. During this time, they maintained privacy about her health condition, but were transparent about her need for recovery time. When Kate returned to work, she focused on quality over quantity of appearances. She chose events that connected to her core interests in mental health and early childhood. At each appearance, she spent more time in meaningful conversations and less time on formal ceremonial duties. William increased his work on homelessness, following in his mother Diana's footsteps. He launched a project called Words, which aimed to demonstrate that homelessness could be rare, brief, and unrepeated. He visited housing projects and met with people who had experienced homelessness. His approach was practical and focused on solutions rather than just raising awareness. Through these projects and their daily work, William and Kate showed how the monarchy could remain relevant in changing times. They connected ancient institutions to modern concerns. They balanced ceremony with substance. Most importantly, they showed that royalty could feel both special and relatable at the same time. As the children grew older, William and Kate faced new parenting challenges. They had to prepare George for his future role while letting him enjoy childhood. They needed to help Charlotte and Louis understand their unique positions without feeling burdened by them. Each school concert, sports day, and family vacation required careful planning to balance normal experiences with royal security needs. What set William and Kate apart was how they made the extraordinary seem ordinary, and the ordinary seem special. They could attend state banquets in tiaras and medals one day, then be seen at a local farm shop buying vegetables the next. This ability to move between royal grandeur and everyday life kept the monarchy connected to the people it served. In late 2023, William and Kate faced one of their biggest challenges as a royal couple. Kate's health issues required her to step back from public duties for several months. The palace gave little information about her condition, only saying she needed time to recover. This created a gap in royal appearances that William had to fill while also caring for his wife and children. During this time, William showed his strength as both a royal and a husband. He continued his duties alone, representing their shared projects. At events, he often mentioned Kate, saying she was sorry she could not be there. He carried notes from her to share with the people she had planned to meet. These small gestures showed their partnership continued even when Kate could not be present. At home, William took on more parenting responsibilities. He was seen doing school runs more often. He rearranged his schedule to be home for dinner and bedtimes. Friends said he cooked simple meals for the family and helped the children with homework. This hands-on approach was far from the distant father figure that royal men had been in past generations. Kate's absence from public view created wild rumors online. Some people spread false stories about her health or the state of their marriage. William and Kate responded with silence at first. They focused on her recovery rather than fighting every rumor. This showed their mature approach to the constant public attention on their lives. When Kate felt ready, she shared a personal video message about her health journey. She spoke directly to the camera, looking natural in a simple outfit. She thanked people for their support and asked for continued privacy. The message was honest but still kept private details private. It showed Kate's growth in confidence since her early days as a shy royal bride. After Kate's return to public life, the couple made a strategic decision to focus on fewer but more meaningful royal engagements. They spent more time at each visit, having deeper conversations with people. They followed up on projects rather than just attending opening ceremonies. This approach showed they cared about real impact more than just being seen at many events. William and Kate also changed how they used social media. Their official accounts shared more behind-the-scenes moments. A video might show Kate helping to set up an art project with children before the official photos were taken. Or William might be seen practicing a speech in the car on the way to an event. These glimpses made their work feel more authentic and less staged. For Prince George's 11th birthday, the family released a photo that looked different from earlier ones. George looked more grown-up, wearing a suit instead of casual clothes. The image acknowledged his future role while still showing him as a normal boy with his mother's smile and father's height. The photo captured the balance the family tried to maintain between royal duty and childhood joy. Princess Charlotte developed her own interests during this time. She loved sports, especially gymnastics and swimming. Kate brought her to women's sporting events, showing support for female athletes. Charlotte was seen waving to crowds with growing confidence. She seemed comfortable in the public eye, but still acted like a regular 9-year-old, sometimes sticking her tongue out or making silly faces. Prince Louis, the youngest child, became known for his playful personality. At public events, he made funny faces or covered his ears when things got too loud. Instead of scolding him for not being perfectly behaved, William and Kate showed patient parenting. They gently guided him while allowing him to be a normal, energetic child. People loved seeing these authentic family moments. The family began spending more time at their Norfolk country home, Amer Hall. There, they could relax away from cameras. The children rode bikes and climbed trees. Kate gardened while William cooked on the grill. They invited school friends over for normal playdates. This private family time helped balance the public parts of their lives. Through these personal and public challenges, William and Kate's relationship grew stronger. They were seen holding hands more often at events, something royal couples rarely did in the past. They shared small jokes during long ceremonies. They looked at each other for support during difficult moments. Their genuine connection showed that their marriage was not just a royal arrangement, but a true partnership built on love and mutual respect. As King Charles settled into his role, William took on more important duties representing the monarchy. He attended meetings with government officials and foreign leaders. He learned more about the details of being a future king. Through it all, Kate remained his most trusted advisor, helping him prepare for each new responsibility while maintaining their shared vision of a more modern, connected royal family. By early 2024, William and Kate had transformed how the public saw the British royal family. They had created their own distinctive approach that honored traditions while embracing modern values. Their influence reached beyond Britain to the entire Commonwealth and around the world. Kate's work on early childhood continued to grow in importance. She hosted a global conference bringing together experts, politicians, celebrities, and everyday parents. At the event, Kate gave a confident speech without notes. She shared research and personal experiences as a mother. The room fell silent as she spoke, showing how far she had come from her nervous first speech years before. The Earthshot Prize became one of William's proudest achievements. The annual award ceremony traveled to different cities around the world. In 2024, it was held in Cape Town, South Africa. William used the platform to highlight environmental work across the African continent. Young inventors from around the world received money and support to grow their ideas into solutions for climate change, pollution, and wildlife protection. The couple also increased their international travel, representing King Charles on royal tours. They visited Caribbean nations with historical ties to Britain. These trips required careful planning. Some countries were discussing whether to remove the British monarch as their head of state. William and Kate approached these visits with sensitivity, listening more than speaking. During a tour to Australia, the family traveled together. This gave the children educational experiences while maintaining their bond as a family. George, now more aware of his future role, took part in some official greetings. Charlotte charmed crowds with her confidence. Louis stayed with his nanny during formal events, but joined his parents for more casual visits to wildlife sanctuaries and beaches. Back in Britain, William and Kate moved their main home to Windsor Castle. The historic building became a family home, with children's toys in ancient rooms and modern family photos next to priceless art. They worked with staff to make the castle more energy efficient and environmentally friendly. Solar panels were installed on some buildings, and garden areas were rewilded to support local wildlife. Kate continued to break new ground in royal fashion. She mixed high-end designers with affordable brands that regular people could buy. She rewore outfits many times, sometimes years apart. For important events, she often chose British designers to support the local fashion industry. Her approach showed that sustainable fashion could be elegant and appropriate even for royal occasions. William developed a more relaxed public speaking style. He used humor and personal stories to connect with audiences. At a mental health event for emergency workers, he shared his own experiences from his air ambulance days. He talked about the emotional toll of responding to tragic accidents. His honesty made others feel comfortable sharing their struggles too. The couple found ways to use new technology to connect with the public. They did their first live stream question and answer session about mental health. They created short videos showing the impact of charities they supported. Kate even tried her hand at editing some content for their social media accounts. These modern communication methods helped them reach younger audiences. For their children, William and Kate created a careful balance. They understood that George, Charlotte, and Louis needed to learn about their royal roles gradually, but they also wanted them to have normal childhood experiences. The children went to regular schools, had friends over for playdates, and did household chores suitable for their ages. When Prince George turned 12, he began occasional solo appearances with his father. They attended a football match together where George, wearing a suit like his dad, shook hands with the team captains. William could be seen quietly guiding his son through the protocol. The moment reminded many people of when Charles had done the same for young William decades earlier. Princess Charlotte showed a growing interest in the arts and sports. Her school performances were kept private, but Kate mentioned how proud they were of her piano playing and dance performances. Charlotte joined her mother at the Wimbledon tennis finals, dressed in a pretty summer dress, but showing her own style with sneakers instead of formal shoes. Prince Louis continued to bring smiles with his energetic personality. At a charity garden opening, he dug enthusiastically in the dirt alongside other children, getting his smart outfit completely muddy. Rather than being upset, Kate laughed and joined in. Photos of the future queen and her young son with dirty hands and happy faces showed their genuine nature. Throughout these busy years, William and Kate maintained their focus on mental health support. They expanded their Heads Together campaign to include workplace mental health and support for new parents. They spoke openly about teaching their children emotional literacy and the importance of talking about feelings. This work helped change attitudes across Britain and beyond. As 2025 began, William and Kate marked nearly 15 years of marriage. They had grown from a young couple in love to confident leaders preparing for their future roles as king and queen. Together, they had created a vision for a monarchy that could remain meaningful in modern times. The changes they brought to royal life were both small and large. Kate still did her own grocery shopping sometimes, pushing a cart through local stores while security guards waited discreetly nearby. William drove his children to school when his schedule allowed. They cooked family meals together on weekends. These ordinary moments grounded them amid their extraordinary lives. The couple celebrated their wedding anniversary with a new photo taken by a professional photographer. Unlike the formal royal portraits of the past, this image showed them in casual clothes sitting on a bench in their garden. William had his arm around Kate's shoulders. They looked relaxed and happy, like any couple marking years of shared life. For public events, they developed a style that felt both royal and accessible. They still observed traditional protocols when needed. They bowed and curtsied to King Charles at formal events. But they also hugged children, sat on classroom floors during school visits, and rolled up their sleeves to help with community projects. This flexibility made them feel authentic rather than stiff and formal. Behind palace walls, William and Kate were planning for the future. They worked with advisors to learn more about the business side of royal estates. They studied constitutional matters that would be important when William eventually became king. But they balanced this serious work with creating a happy home life for their family. Prince George, now approaching his teenage years, began taking on more public duties. He attended selected events with his parents, learning the ropes gradually. Behind the scenes, his education included special lessons about history, government, and the role of the monarchy. William and Kate made sure these lessons were balanced with normal teenage experiences like sports, friends, and hobbies. Princess Charlotte developed her own royal style. She showed special interest in the arts and sometimes joined her mother at cultural events. At a ballet performance, she presented flowers to the lead dancer and spoke confidently with the company members. Kate was heard telling someone that Charlotte practiced her curtsy at home before important meetings. Prince Louis, still the baby of the family, charmed everyone with his outgoing personality. At garden parties, he would run around playing with other children regardless of their background or status. His natural friendliness reflected the warmer, more inclusive approach his parents brought to royal life. William increased his work on environmental causes as climate concerns grew more urgent. He hosted world leaders at Windsor Castle for discussions about protecting forests and oceans. At these events, he showed deep knowledge of the issues and genuine passion for finding solutions. Leaders from many countries respected his commitment to these global challenges. Kate's early childhood work expanded into new areas. She launched a mentoring program, pairing experienced mothers with new parents who needed support. The program started in disadvantaged areas of London and later spread across Britain. Kate visited these projects without cameras sometimes, sitting on living room floors talking with young mothers about their challenges and joys. The couple used their platform to highlight issues that mattered to young people. They discussed online safety, mental health resources in schools, and opportunities for youth employment. At a tech conference, Williams spoke about balancing innovation with well-being. Kate launched a photography competition for teenagers to share images of their communities through their own eyes. As King Charles aged, William took on more duties representing the crown. He attended state openings of Parliament and diplomatic receptions. Kate joined him at these events, showing her growth into a confident future queen. Together, they represented a bridge between generations, connecting the monarchy's past with its future. Through all these changes and responsibilities, William and Kate maintained their strongest focus on being good parents. They scheduled royal duties around school events when possible. They took regular family vacations away from public view. They created as much normalcy as possible within their extraordinary circumstances. What made their approach to royal life successful was its authenticity. They were not pretending to be regular people, but they were showing their genuine selves within their royal roles. They respected the institution they represented while bringing their own warmth and modern sensibilities to it. The story of William and Kate was still being written. Many chapters lay ahead as they continued their journey toward eventually leading the monarchy. But they had already accomplished something important. They had shown that ancient traditions could adapt without losing their meaning. They had connected a 1,000-year-old institution to the concerns and values of today's world. Most importantly, they had demonstrated that at the heart of the monarchy were not just symbols and ceremonies, but real people trying their best to serve with dignity, compassion, and love. As people looked at the modern face of monarchy that William and Kate had created, they saw something both timeless and new. The magic of royalty remained, but it felt more accessible, more human, and more relevant than ever before. Whatever challenges the future might bring, this foundation of authenticity and connection would serve them well in the years to come.